Let's get back to the program. Now let's bring up another VIP who I've known for many, many years.
Yeah.
When he was 25 years old, he was youth director of Central YMCA.
Yeah.
And I was on the board of directors. That was only 10 years ago, right, Bobby?
That's right. That's right.
Let's welcome all the way from the Big Island, U.S. Area President Bobby Stiver-Apiki.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Program calls for informal talk story session with Bobby. So Bobby, you can start first, and then after that, we can have a Q&A. Okay, Bobby, you can start.
Great. Thank you, Rick. Usually, it's a tradition that the area president is invited by the regional conventions to attend. And normally, the area president would attend, or if not, his or her designate would. For this 84th Hawaii Region Convention, Saju Sam, who will be the new area president, was invited to attend. However, the same weekend, he, along with the regional director-elects internationally, is having a training session right now. And so he's not able to join our convention, but he does extend his best wishes for a successful 84th Hawaii Region Convention. When Sharon contacted me to do this session, because she and Eddie had a discussion in terms of how I could be involved in this particular convention. And I was willing. Oh, I was happy to do it. I said, oh, by all means, I'm fine with it. Let's go for it. And then when I hung up, I asked myself, what the hell did I get myself into? But anyway, it's an honor to just share whatever questions you may have. But I want to at least acknowledge that right now amongst us, there are 4 other area presidents to be here at this particular convention, and that should be an honor itself. So Charlie and Debbie Redmond and Ray Sito and Phil Sammer have served in this position as well. So I'm a little intimidated with their leadership, and I hope I can do justice to the position. So thank you very much. Ask away.
Okay. I told Bobby I would have a list of questions, and I don't think he'll like any of them. So I picked the ones we could talk about.
Be nice now.
Yeah, and the reason we wanted to do this is we wanted to show that being up there in leadership as a Wiseman is totally possible for our youngest members to aspire to, our new members to aspire to. So, Bobby, I guess one of the common questions that could be asked of you is, what was an unexpected challenge that you got as U.S. area president that you didn't expect?
The real unexpected was being a member of the International Council. As the area president, you also serve on the International Council. And the International Council is made up of 15 elected members from all the areas across the world. And this group serves as, quote unquote, the legislative body of the organization. And this group is the ones who makes decisions. And it's a little awkward at first because you are elected president of your area. But when you are sitting in the International Council meeting on the international level, you represent international. And the decisions asked of you is for that purpose. And so there's sometimes a conflict within yourself as to who you really represent and how you make decisions. So that to me has been the challenge, and it continues to be the challenge in the position as an area president.
I'm sure other people have questions.
That
One of
many,
the-
huh?
Well, one of the answers to the questions is snows of Mauna Kea in karaoke. And you can figure that one out.
That's my favorite karaoke song.
Yes, it's really good. After a few beers, yes.
That's true.
Any other questions? Something you're curious about?
I have a
Yes,
question.
yes, Jimmy.
Who finances all your travels and your daily expenses?
I was very fortunate, as well as previous area presidents, that funding is through two sources primarily. If it is an international council meeting, then the international pays for your airfare, lodging, and meals. And if it is representative of the area, some of the funds from the US area comes into play. And I must say, personal expenses also come into play, because I've had the opportunity to attend meetings in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I've been able to attend international conventions in Taiwan and South Korea. So while those are paid for, you still have personal expenses that comes out of your own pocket. And I'm sure Debbie and Charlie and Phil and Ray can testify to that. So it's not just a free ride. You also have your own personal expenses incurred in being in the position.
Right.
Hope that answered you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Vernon has a question. How big is the area you represent?
The US area, the area that we talk about is only the United States. We have 7 regions right now. Hawaii is one of the regions. Pacific Southwest, which is mostly California. Pacific Northwest, which is mostly Seattle. Mid-America, where Charlie and Debbie is located. We have North Atlantic, which is more New Jersey, New York, and North Carolina. And we have South Atlantic. I mean, South Atlantic is a separate one with North Carolina is as the main area, region, if you will. So there's seven areas. On the international level, there are 8 areas. And when we say areas, it's really countries. So Asia Pacific is one area, and that's primarily Australia and with Japan. Then there's India, Korea, Africa, Latin America, Canada, and Caribbean. So those are the international area, what we call areas, and they are the ones that makes up the Wiseman International movement, if you will. Sometimes called YMI, Wiseman International. So you may be hearing, even in the next segment, when we do the officers installation, that we refer to our international movement as YMI, Wiseman International.
I think Steve has a question. He has his hands up.
Hey,
Wong.
Steve.
Bobby, I'm sorry. I had to do some personal things, and I wasn't here for all the meetings. You may have answered this before. What's the latest on the International Convention in Hawaii?
That is an excellent question. I'm going to toss that over to your international committee chairpersons, Debbie Redmond and Phil Sammer. So Debbie,
Oh, you're the key. Okay.
notice how I got out of that one, huh? Okay, Debbie.
I'll let Phil handle this one.
There's discussion going on right now about the International Convention in 2022. We're having a meeting this coming Tuesday, actually, to discuss it more, and we'll see what ensues from that. And that's really all we can say about that at this moment. As of now, it's still on for 2022, but we'll see if there's any changes on the horizon or if anything is going to change in that outlook. But again, because the host committee, which Debbie and I are both co-chairing, and she's doing most of the work. Thank you very much. The committee itself is made up of people from all over the country, and so we need to get together and talk to them and get opinions from everybody at that meeting to decide how to proceed from here. But for now, the official convention is still in 2022. Notice Debbie's not saying anything.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
I just wanted to also mention there's a whole bunch of Hawaii region members that have stepped up to serve on the committees, as well as what we call boots on the ground. So it's not only Wiseman, but it's family members and friends of people who were in the YMCA that all have volunteered to be marshals and committee people and all sorts of different volunteer opportunities. And that's the strength of our region, the ability to step up and step forward in service. So I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge all those have been part of this wonderful process in bringing forth the International Convention to Hawaii in 2022.
Thank you, Bobby. Are there any other questions for Bobby? If not, I have one.
Sharon, okay, Sharon.
Okay. So Bobby, you have been the ambassador of Aloha, and I think everybody in your area and internationally can attest to that. I'm just amazed at what you put out to continue the legacy of Aloha there. What have you seen personally, the reaction to, because you're certainly coming from another part of the country that they don't see very often or interact with personally very often. So what do you see as the biggest strength of spreading Aloha?
That's a wonderful question, Sharon.
Thank you.
When I accepted the position of just the area president-elect and being asked to serve that position, I had already kind of envisioned what my theme would be as the area president. And so I chose a Hawaiian phrase. And that phrase is Ika Pono, Ike Pono. And basically it's interpreted carrying out our mission. And there's been 3 ideals or goals or emphasis that I have placed in that particular theme for the US area for the last 2 years. And the first has been mission driven. And if I have tried to instill the values of the YMCA and Wiseman in whatever we try to do. And that has always been to share, to care, to be responsible, and to be honest. And I think I have, with the executive officers, the service directors, and all those that serve on both, on all three levels, the region, the area, and international, I think we have communicated those values in a very positive way. And I'm also proud that even our Hawaiian culture has been expressed in simple ways just through my communication with all who I have been in contact with. All my emails always starts with aloha. All my emails always end with mahalo. And that is the essence of who we are as a Hawaii region and who we are as a US area. And I'm proud to demonstrate and to teach, like the YMCA, the values, not just of our Western ways, but of our Hawaiian ways as well. So I think we've accomplished that. So being mission driven and being vibrant and being resilient has been the three key ideals that I've worked on this past 2 years as the US area president. And I hope that I've made a difference, but thank you very much.
Yeah, you
Very
definitely
nice.
have. Thank you so much, Bobby.
Thank
You are
you,
Mr.
guys.
Aloha.
Thank you very much.
We have actually one last question. Ken had put it in the chat room. What
Sure.
parts of the US are showing promise, and what can we learn from them to improve?
In the US area, there's, I don't know how, the way I can express it is, if you have a scale and you were to put weights on either side of the scale, it will not be equally balanced because some of the regions are very, very active, like the Hawaii region, the North Atlantic region, Southwest region, and even Mid-America is active as well. But we do have some regions that are having some difficulties. One of our regions is really struggling just to have members of their region to step up to be an officer. Many of them have already served several terms, and as they become more elderly in their capacity, they no longer have the ability or the capacity or the willingness to serve anymore. So there's no next leadership, and that's a challenge. And we have an area that, or region that is doing okay with maybe one club, but those are the areas that we still need to support and build and work on to strengthen and to even up that scale so everybody is on the equal balance of again meeting our mission. So we still have some work to do. And the other area that has been going on, I remember in 2013 when Debbie came to the Hawaii region. Even back then, membership was declining. And I asked her for her speech, and I still have a copy of that speech she gave. Because the US area, we had 1,500 members. maybe even more, even prior to 2013. But our last count of membership just this past year, we're down to about 800 members in the US area. So it's so invigorating to know clubs like the Atherton Club developing the next level of leadership and enthusiasm and service is coming forth. We just need to expand it and have more youth clubs coming on board. And there's opportunities still forthcoming. And so we should have a stronger area down the road.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm sorry. Mahalo, Bobby.
Thank you.
I did learn something from you. Okay, Rick?
Well, yeah,